And we are live. Let me go ahead and tweet the link out real quick. And while we're waiting for everybody to come in, we can go over a few things. I've gotten Comicsgate has decided they do not like way Lily talk and White Lily. I don't, and look, they've already burned my comic book, and they've sworn to never buy from me. So I don't know why we're even discussing it. I'm like, look, you're not going to buy from me. Why do I need to try and make you happy? But nevertheless, it always continues. So
yeah, you can't please all the people all the time.
I can't, and I don't know why they even seem to pretend like. Why are they even pretending like they care? Like I think the whole thing is just absurd. But anyway, here we go. All right, here we go. Tweeting out live now with comic book creator George how do you spell it?
Michail.
Hal.
AIL.
AIL. Okay. AIL.
George Michail, like Kevin Michail from Boston Celtics.
Yeah, when I was there with now what because I know we did Bay Area together, right? Wizard World Bay Area.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I was there with Rachel, and you got to meet John Delarose. I think we were staying at his place.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He came by your table.
Yeah, he came by my table, usually inebriated because he was drinking a bit. But yeah, like when we were setting up for that show, I was there with Rachel, who's like 26, I want to say, and I was like, oh wow, look at that, we're sharing a table with George Michail, and she was like, who's George Michail? I was like, never mind. Anyway,
so yes, I've gotten that all
my life. Well, I mean, the thing is she didn't even know who George Michail was. So
yeah, maybe it'll start to peter out now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Are people commenting? And boy, technical detail. I'm trying to set up a new computer in a new studio, and I'm gonna have to take a trip to Fry's before this evening's thing to get a new cable to make that all work. But let's see. Yeah. More details. I mean, well, we have 4 people viewing here. Can someone type a comment real quick just so I can make sure I'm on the right window to see your comments? Over here on the chat window. Here, I will say hello. Is that showing up? So I'm sending that out. There we go. Okay, awesome. We have some people. Okay, great. All right. So, how many books have you done now, like successfully already?
Well, I have 6 issues of Cover of Darkness that have been completed.
Oh my God, that is impressive. All right, so how many? All right, so how big are these issues we're talking about?
Between 22 and 28 pages.
So you've already done like 140 pages worth of product?
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Okay, that's bragging rights, my friend. You're doing quite well for yourself. Let's talk about that. First off, I want to let everybody know there is a link to the Kickstarter for George's project down below, so I'd encourage you to check that out. So this is what's the title of it?
Cover of Darkness.
Cover of Darkness. Okay. Now, when we were at Wizard World Bay Area, you were presenting was that Cover of Darkness? Because it was like there was a family, and there was a mom, and the kids were twins who could shape change into animals. And I remember every time you said animals, you said it with a certain affectation every time. It was like they could change into animals, and then it was always a flip of the page. And here's the thing about like being like right next to somebody. I'm pretty sure if I asked George could pitch White Lily right now because he heard that one a whole bunch that weekend.
Yes, and Guinevere too.
And Guinevere, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I heard your pitch a whole bunch, and I know whenever it was animals, there was always a certain emphasis on it as you turned the page, and you had this. The art was really cool. Now, is this your art?
No, I'm the
No.
writer of the book.
Yeah. So you and I, we're like doing the same thing. So that's neat. So but that story I was talking about, where you are going over the the monster family, is that this one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've just launched the Kickstarter for it, for the first issue, and just kind of getting it out there. Looking really to, we've self-funded 7 issues. We have 6 issues completed, seven's almost done, and we've got this thing planned out for like an 18-issue epic, which was a bit ambitious.
Yeah.
And so we're looking to, kind of attract some new customers and get it out there, and then so we can keep on making more of these books, because they're pretty fun and they've been well received.
So you've already done a whole bunch. How come we're only doing one, or how come you're only crowdfunding issue one? I mean, are you going to do these in a series like 1, 2, 3, and all that?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm doing with this crowdfunding stuff.
Right.
I thought like our artist, his name is MJ Hiblin, and I have a co-writer, Crystal Cam.
All right.
And I thought between the three of us we'd be, doing well with this crowdfunding, and we are doing well. We're about 50% and like 5 days in, but it's a lot of work and a lot of hustling to try and just get the word out on your project.
Right.
I thought, our artist MJ Hiblin, he has over 200,000 followers on social media.
Right.
Oh, okay, that'll be great. That'll, his fans will pick up the book, but
Right.
I think maybe it's getting missed.
Yeah. I mean, I have been in that situation myself. I remember when I did White Lily issue 1. Walden Wong did the inks, and he's kind of a name, He's out there. He's doing stuff. He's got a lot of people, and I figured, well, with Walden's name attached to it, well then, but no, it didn't seem to mean much. So you seem to have a similar experience. I don't know.
Yeah, the crowdfunding is a bit of a hustle. I should have known better. I've done it once before.
Right.
For my first book was called Fire Engine Red.
Right.
And kind of like Die Hard in a forest fire. It's about a female firefighter. She needs to rescue her boyfriend and take down the armed mercenaries.
Right.
Lots of action, some cheesy one-liners, but she's got a complicated relationship with her man. She's more at home in a burning building than in the flames of romance.
I'm having flashbacks to Wizard World, Bay Area all over again. I'm like, I've heard that pitch already. Let's see, cover of dark. Okay, let's check you out here on Kickstarter real quick. Cover of Darkness. Oh wait, there you are. So Kickstarter works a lot better. Okay, so I'm gonna share a tab. All right, share screen, and I want Chrome tab here. Okay. All right, so we are now looking at the cover of Dark. All right, so you have a goal of 2,200 Canadian, and you've already made roughly half of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's this is Kickstarter. They tend to be, there tend to be a lot of people out there. So I want to say, don't sweat too much making this goal. You've set a very realistic goal. I'm sure you will more than hit it. You've got plenty of time. But yeah, let's for all the people out there in the viewing audience, take us from zero. I'm sure you're well practiced at it. Go ahead. What's the story about?
Cover Darkness has vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. It's like a shared universe of monsters. It's about a family in medieval Romania. They get separated from each other. Oh no, right? They encounter all those terrible villains.
Right.
A mom, her 2 daughters, and she has twin shape-shifting nephews, boys that can turn into
animals. Yes.
Yeah, so you get gorillas fighting werewolves. It's just like totally bonkers.
Okay. So there's a lot of kaiju kind of stuff in it, like monster. I'm probably horribly misusing that term. I just know like whenever we're talking about Godzilla, it's like monsters fighting. I think they call that kaiju.
Yeah, I get that a lot because my banner has the big gorilla fighting the big werewolf, and it's like 8 feet tall.
Right.
But actually, it's a regular sized gorilla fighting a regular sized werewolf, so they're not actually kaiju. They're
Okay.
they're shapeshifters and werewolves. But we are building towards some big monsters.
All right. So why does this family want to go to Romania?
Well, they're from there. This
Oh, okay.
is medieval times, and they're kind of a transient kind of family moving from place to place, trying to get by.
Right.
It's 3 women and 4 children, and they're just trying to make it through the world, and they get separated from each other, and things go from bad to worse.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I was inspired by the classic monster movies. Before the MCU, the first shared cinematic universe was the Universal monsters, and you
Right.
have Dracula showing up in Frankenstein's movie and things like this, and then I saw a Monster Squad, which is a movie from 1980s. It's kind of like Goonies meets those classic monsters. It was written by Shane Black, who did Lethal Weapon. He did Iron Man 3. And it's just, I watched that when I was 5 years old, and it scared me so bad. But ever since then, I've always loved and feared monsters. And I kind of craved that kind of universe where they all kind of coexist with each other. And no one else was really doing it the way I wanted it to be done, so I decided to kind of make it happen myself.
Okay. Cool. So what is the big bad that we meet here in issue 1? You said there's like a shapeshift. Is this where the shapeshifter duel is going to take place?
So our big bad in issue 1 is Count Orlok.
Okay, so Dracula, right?
Yeah, he's like a Nosferatu style vampire. I'm not sure why that design isn't used more often. It's public domain,
Right.
and it's such a cool look. The bald head and the pointy ears and stuff, the long hands, and but it's not used. Instead, we get like sparkly vampires and pretty vampires, and I'm just like, no, let's grit it up and make them a little creepy and weird.
All right. And so Count Orloff is fighting against these shape-shifting nephews. Is that it? Because you said the family gets separated. Oh
Yeah,
no,
they get
right?
separated, and they encounter the werewolves right at the
Okay.
first issue. But it's building and building, and each issue has a standalone monster origin story. It was really important to me that when you buy a comic book, that it's satisfying in its own right, and it doesn't just continuously build towards something. So each issue in our series has a standalone monster origin story that's a
Right.
self-contained read, and that's half of the book. And then the other half of the book is the ongoing adventure of our family, and they're on a collision course with those monsters.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a
Oh, wait.
vampire
All right.
origin story.
Okay.
And
So
then
issue 1, we get the werewolf, and then where does Count Orloff come in?
no, so issue 1 we have the vampire origin story.
Okay.
And then on the other side of it, we have our family getting separated and encountering werewolves.
So like I get the comic book, right? And then I open it up, and then boom, I've got a vampire origin story. Is that it?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it goes
And
back and forth between the two different.
okay, because that was my question. Is it like sectioned? Like here's vampire origin story, few pages, done, and now here's family. But no, you're saying that these two are interconnected.
Yes, and as the story progresses through the issues, each character gets kind of intertwined with the monsters. Each family character.
I do writer workshops on my channel on Wednesday evening, so I will be doing one this evening. You are, of course, invited to attend as a fellow writer creator. But there was a script we looked at like a month ago, where it was like there were two different groups, and one was kind of like the good guys and one was kind of like the bad guys, but we were doing a little like hero anti-hero kind of thing, and who's going to win as they're going for the thing. And so there's always this challenge that we were talking about a month ago where it's like, okay, do we want to set them up as kind of two almost completely independent stories, or how do we keep switching between the one and the two? So as a, like, what motivates you to keep switching, or how are you guiding the reader to keep these two stories relevant, because they are seemingly rather independent?
Right, and in the first issue, they
Right.
are very independent.
Right.
And as the series goes along, it actually gets, because we introduce a new monster with each issue. So
Right.
by issue 6, we've got 5 different monsters, and then our family of 7 has been whittled down to 5 as
Right.
well. And so you're seeing them mix and match. So there's 5 different storylines to juggle. And that has been probably the only sort of negative review on the book that I get, is that it's a bit much to follow. And like, I know I'm supposed to be selling my book here, but
Well, I mean, that is the difference, I think, between someone who's been out and doing the business for a while. Oh wait, we have a question. All right, so no, so this is a comic book, Tom. Yeah. For those coming in late, so this is a comic book, and I can already feel the question, and let me go ahead and field the question. If you've already got 6 issues into this, are you going to do a trade paperback? If so, when? And why isn't this a trade paperback? Like, how come you're not just launching a trade paperback right out of the gate?
yeah, I didn't know that I was supposed to. I just thought, like, I've got an issue, I'll sell an issue here.
Right.
I guess I could have collected it, and
Well, I mean, look, you are the ultimate creator of your intellectual property and how you're selling it. I'm just like, do you have plans at this juncture today to do a trade paperback, or are you just doing comics?
yeah, we'll be doing a trade paperback in the future. I've been talking pretty seriously with publishers. We're pretty far along
Okay.
that route. I've actually had one publisher tell me that it should be released fourth quarter this year, and they redesigned our logo. So I think it's firmed up, but at the same time, I haven't signed any paperwork. So we're moving along with that, and then the publisher would be releasing the issues and then collecting them into trades. But I just, I needed some money to start making
Yeah,
a
of course.
trade. So I was like,
I
I'll
mean,
just release this and see
yeah.
how it goes.
I mean, the way I did it with White Lily is, like, okay, crowdfunding was my plan from the get go. So you and I kind of approached this differently. It seems like your plan from the get go was just to go sell at cons.
Well, I did that first Kickstarter for Fire Engine Red.
Okay.
And I was really, my eyes were opened up to just how difficult it can be to try and gain some momentum with that. And I was really kind of, having to like talk to like all the people in my life and be like, hey man, you remember when we were in high school and I made you that mixtape or whatever? Like,
Right.
you like that? Do you want to buy my book? Like really like kind of like trying to encourage people to pick it up that don't normally read comics, just because getting the word out on it is tough. I find that's probably the most difficult part with the crowdfunding, is just that people don't know it exists.
Right.
I think most people, if they watch my video, they'll be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll check it out." It's $5 download.
Well, hold on. Let's put that to the test. All right, everybody. Let's play this video here real quick. That's a good production value. Oh wait, dead air. Hold on. Darn. Wait. Dead air. Hold on. Sorry. They're saying that I heard that. Um.
Oh, they couldn't hear the video; they could just see it.
No sound. Oh, hold on. Let me redo this. I've got a there's a special thing I have to click. All right, so I'm gonna go. Okay, so stop share. Okay, now I'm gonna go share screen again. Chrome tab and cover. I'm sorry. There's a little checkbox here. I don't know why that doesn't automatically default. Okay, you know what? I'm really blown away by this video. I think this video is pretty cool. Who produced this? But before I press play again, who produced this? Because this is nice.
So I did. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Fiverr.
Okay.
You can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can hire people to design a logo or to make different videos.
Right.
And all of those different components. There's like a little cloud smoke effect that turns into our logo at the end. All of those were created on Fiverr. And so I wrote a script with Chris Cam, my co-writer, and we had the journalist lady record it in England, and she sent us out the video. And then
good job, man. Look, I love your stick-to-itiveness. You are, sir, an inspiration to me, and that is hard because, like, look, all day, particularly dealing with freaking Comicsgate, there's just so much empty grift and broken promises, and just people going around acting like they're doing quality, and it just bugs the crap out of me. But like, look, I love this video, so I'm gonna press play again. And look, I also make videos myself, so I think this is pretty slick. All right, here we go. Let me know if you can't hear it, but you guys should be able to hear that.
I can hear it now.
Okay.
Breaking news. Out of Romania, reports of werewolves battling gorillas, lions, and even elephants have surfaced. For more on this developing story, we go to special Lycan correspondent. Wait, what? Come on, Karen, I just read the teleprompter. No, I don't think you're funny. Sorry for the false alarm. This is a video for the Cover of Darkness Kickstarter campaign. Featuring thrilling artwork by the uncanny MJ Hibblen, is 100% completed and ready to print. Set in medieval Romania, where evil lurks under the cover of darkness, one family will be pushed to their absolute limits. They will face legendary monsters and encounter obstacles they never imagined existed. Werewolves, vampires, Frankenstein, and the Mummy. When everything is on the line, simply surviving is not enough. I must say, this comic book really does look outstanding. So there you have it, Cover of Darkness, available now on Kickstarter. Put away your pitchforks and get yourself a copy today. Can somebody fire Karen? Honestly, people. We're still rolling. Oh, me.
The writer editor was clearly having a little fun with that one. If it was me, I'd be like, that's a little too much fun, like all the inside jokes and stuff. But that was cool. Like I've never seen a Kickstarter video like that. Good job.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and that's one thing that's kind of been a bit frustrating for me is like just
right.
I'm like, it's buried down there. Like you have to, if you're scrolling through it, it's like 140 projects ahead of mine.
Right.
And like, come on, like if people would actually see it, I think they'd be interested in it.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So issue 1 there, we've got the origin story for the vampire, and we also have the werewolf as being presented in the story.
Yeah, that's the family encounters the werewolves. I did want to kind of circle back to me saying it was a little bit complicated. So,
okay.
Because I kind of feel like I put my foot in my mouth a little bit.
All right.
But I'm just being honest. Like that's
sure.
I've mostly gotten positive reviews, but the first issue is pretty easy to follow. There's 2 different storylines, and we kind of go back and forth between the 2 of them, and most people follow that. But I would compare it to like a Game of Thrones, right? So when the family starts off together and then they get separated from each other and they all go on their own journeys, right?
Right.
And so we've kind of emulated that format in our comic book there, and it does get to be a bit more to kind of digest as it gets in there. But for me, I like that. I like having, multiple layers to a storyline, and also like, maybe you like one story in particular, and maybe you dislike a different one. Well, it's not all just one story, so you can enjoy it on different levels, right? So if something's not working for you, maybe you like the other story better, and so it's not just one story.
Now, one thing that how do you deal with, or what do you think? What I've experienced when you have because it seems like in issue 1 we're going to be meeting a bunch of different characters. I mean, how many people are in the family? Like 5, 7?
7, yeah, 7 to start off with.
7 plus we got a big bad. Well, we got 2 big bads. We got a vampire and a werewolf, and so that's 9 characters that we need to have some concern over, like all of them, pretty much from the get-go. That's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you have any techniques, or was there any special way that you kind of hook the audience into caring about it? Because for me as a writer, like I tend to start with a smaller number of characters to expose them to, and like I know a lot of comic creators are out there. Yeah, all right. Let me ask you this question: if a comic creator came to you and said, "Hey, I'm thinking of doing a superhero team," do you think they should do it out of the box, or do you think they should instead start with just one superhero and then add another one and then add another one? Because when you deal with like one of these big ensemble casts right out of the box, it can be a little unengaged. Like people kind of drop out. I feel like, or at least there's a danger that they're going to become overwhelmed by all these different characters and they don't know, necessarily who they're supposed to be following.
Yeah, I think you can run the risk of that, but if you want to tell a team story, then tell a team story, right? Obviously you can only flesh out your characters so much,
right?
As if you have 7 characters as opposed to 1,
right,
you're going to get to know one character really well, and the 7 you're just going to know a little bit about each of them. But we did write this book, so when Chris and I went to plot this out, we got like the big poster boards and then we had like little Post-it notes, and we wrote out each character's kind of personal journey, and then each character's kind of physical story as far as what they were doing,
right?
And so we have a plan with this, and you see their personalities in the first issue, but as things progress you get to know them better, right?
Right.
So I think both are totally doable. It's, and I wouldn't say one is necessarily either easier than the other, because you might think it's easier to develop one character, but and just focus on that. But there's a lot of work in that too, right? And establishing who that person is and making sure the audience likes them.
Right.
All right. Whereas when you have lots of characters, you kind of establish, just a little note on what their personality is. Right? This one is, pretty logical thinking, and this one is kind of, more funny and slacker. And you can kind of define them in a little bit more simpler ways, and then kind of get to know them better as the series progresses, because that's really what you need is more pages, to kind of really get to know more characters better.
Okay. So you've gotten 6 issues into this thing, sounds like?
That's right, yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like you have found a avenue to make money at it, right? I assume this isn't just a big hole you're shoveling money into.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you tabled next to me. And
yeah, so you are there at cons and you make money at cons, and you're taking that money and investing it back into the project, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah, because this is an avenue for success that people who doing the social media crowdfunding thing. It's like they're two different worlds, I guess. Because people doing the social media crowdfunding thing, they just continually discount that I go to cons regularly and I sell and I gain new fans and all that stuff. And like, yeah, you know, like, but I'm like, no, this is absolutely an avenue for success. And I was covering a book, on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to remember, but it was like a cyberpunk uh, that came out of nowhere. This new cyberpunk series, and it was, also done through a third model, which is just produce it and put it out and distribute it through Diamond and just have the sales carry you. And so, we're looking at three different approaches to coming out with a new comic book. There's Diamond distribution, there's selling at cons, and then the social media crowdfunding. And I don't know any one person who's really doing all three. I mean, if anything, like, I think you start at like one or two and kind of approach the Diamond distribution last, traditionally. But like I said, that cyberpunk book did it first, and it worked out well for them as well. So I don't know. It's kind of a thorny issue, and there's money on the line, so you kind of want to get it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I would have started earlier doing this, because I always wanted to. And I was like, ever since I was a little boy, man, I had like a copy of How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Mhm.
And I wore that book out. And I always loved comic books. And for a long time I was really nervous about putting myself out there, about maybe being rejected or saying it wasn't good, and just the fear of that. And then as I got older, I realized that this is something I wanted to do. It's something I'm still very passionate about. I should go after it and not be so afraid, not live my life kind of being afraid of rejection. That seemed really silly, but it's very real for me, and it was for a lot of people, I think.
Right.
And so deciding to go after it at 35 years old, when I have a wife and a mortgage and a child, that's a little bit more, there's a little bit more on the line than when when you're a young guy in your 20s. And I kind of wish I did get after it when I was in my 20s, but I'm doing it now, and I'm having an absolute blast. As far as to what you were speaking to, as far as like the three different ways of selling, you're absolutely right. And for myself, I didn't realize that the conventions were going to be such a big part of my life. Last year was my first year making comics, and I just really loved selling books as well.
Mhm.
I really enjoy, being on the convention floor, meeting people.
You're real aggressive at it. And look, I do a lot of shows. I guess you and I think I do more shows than you. Like, I'm doing like 2 a month, for an average month. But most of the time when I have someone who's tabling next to me, they're way more passive than you are. They for the most part sit there, they got their signage, and they just kind of rely on customers walking up to them. And I think that's fine for them, and it makes my job easier, because when I'm out there getting attention and engaging people and saying hello and all that good jazz, I don't have to worry about it. But I was tabling next to you. You were already engaging them, and I was like, I'm going to kill this fucker. Because like, I wanted to talk to them, and you had already jumped on them. Like, God damn it. So like, you're really aggressive at it, and I don't know, I guess and the problem was, I also had Rachel to my left who was doing the same thing, so I was sandwiched between two people, and I'm like, I guess I'll just go visit John and drink or something. But
yeah, sorry about that, dude.
That's all right.
I gotta make that money. I gotta pay.
Yeah, I understand. I know how it is. And like, the thing is, like, with both you and Rachel, like, you would come in, hook people, sell them something, and there's something like, I don't know, maybe it's just like a human thing. It was something I noticed as I was sitting there bored off my ass. Like, they would give you the money, and then they would walk away, like a perfect 45-degree angle away, not looking back. So like, there was no way for me to snag them, right? And I'm like, this is bullshit. You know, it's like one of those radio or, you know, stereo diagrams where you're like, you have a speaker here and you have a speaker here, and in the middle you have this void. I was sitting there in that void between you and Rachel because you were both really aggressive and socially engaging, and it's something you're very good at. You should certainly be proud of it. And that's something I guess a lot of artists or comic book creators are, you know, lack, but you don't. And hats off to you, sir. Now, how did you make money in and by the way, you have someone who would certainly be interested in the trade when that came out. But how did you make money back when you only had one book? Because, you know, if you go to a show and you only have one book, I mean, it's for me, I would imagine that would be hard to make a profit.
Yeah, well, so I did my first con was actually almost a year ago to the day. We did the Vancouver, British Columbia comic book convention fan expo.
Right.
And I had my first issue, and it's pretty close to home for me. And you know, I started selling them for, you know, $10 each, and I sold about, you know, 40 books, which was enough to cover my gas and my hotel for the
right.
stuff. Wasn't. And then my next one after that, we had the 3 issues collected, and we did the Calgary Expo, Calgary, Alberta, and we had a 3-issue book that we had collected. It's 84 pages of madness. It's a lot of fun, and it has our vampire story, our mummy story, and our Frankenstein story, and we sell that for $20, and it's a nice looking book, and you know, if you're selling a book for $20 at a convention, if the crowd's big enough, you can definitely make some money. So
yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much, I just did the one convention with just one issue, and then we moved on to the 3-issue collection.
Okay. All right, and yeah, that sounded cool. All right, awesome. So let's see. So we've shown cover. Here we go. Cover. See, so which cover am I looking at right now with the woman with the axe?
Oh, that's a cover by Carrie Nord.
Okay.
Carrie worked on Daredevil, Wonder Woman, Conan the Barbarian. He was actually nominated for an Eisner for his work on. Actually, he won the Eisner.
Right.
That's the highest award in comics. If people are unfamiliar with that. Yeah. So Carrie is a fellow Canadian. He lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And actually, when I was first really deciding that, hey, I wanted to get into comics like professionally, I wrote Carrie, and I didn't know him at the time, and I wrote him on like Facebook, and he wrote me back, and he was like really generous with his time and really kind of laid some things out as far as like, you know, what to expect from artists and what they need, and I was really kind of blown away because this is a guy that I've been a fan of since, you know, the 90s. He had an awesome run on Daredevil with Carl Kessel, and he's a young guy too. He broke in when he was a teenager, and so he's not much older than me, but he's got 20 years experience in the industry, and yeah, he was really nice to me and explained to me what to expect. And then you know, like a year later, after sending him that Facebook message, I showed him my book, and I asked him if he'd be interested in doing a cover, and he remembered me, and he signed on to do it, and I think it turned out pretty cool.
All right, cool. So, and what's the name of that cover?
I don't have a name. It's
okay.
Because
all right, because over here in the rewards we have all right, so for $13 Canadian we get MJ Hibble cover A, and I'm like, okay, which cover is that?
So MJ Hiblin is our series artist. He does the interiors as well.
Okay.
He's an artist based out of the UK. He's a fantastic talent. He actually works in a really interesting way. He does everything digitally on his iPad, and he uses his finger. He doesn't use a stylus.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, so it's like the world's best finger painting. Yeah, he's an incredible guy.
But I'm saying, which cover is this? The MJ Hiblin cover A. Which one is?
If you go into the story, or you know, you can see them all.
Okay, but I'm saying, is it not on your page?
On the Kickstarter?
On the Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah, so you know how there's like the reward page on, and then there's also like the campaign story page.
Um, I'm on the campaign page.
Yeah, and then if you there should be pictures of it all over the campaign
I'm
page.
all right. So all right. So you can see the screen that I'm sharing, right?
No, I'm talking to you.
Okay. Well, in the website, if you look at your browser window there, you you see where are you looking at the computer screen?
I'm just getting into it here. I was
Okay.
talking into my giant iPad like a phone.
Oh, sorry. Okay, fair enough.
Where I was expecting to
Yeah,
Skype with
Skype.
you.
Sorry about that.
No worries. And so now I just all right, hold on, I'm getting into it.
Okay. All right. So this image of the lady with the boobs and the werewolf. What is that? Is that a cover or is that?
Yeah, that is a cover. So I've got 4 covers.
What's the name of that cover? Because people are gonna want that cover.
You'd think, eh? So that's the werewolf tier.
Werewolf tier. Okay. So
Right.
which tier? All right. So that's orc level, Frankenstein level, mummy level, vampire level. You got a lot of levels. I'm
Yeah.
still looking.
It's $13.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. 13. Okay.
Yeah, so they're all like it's $10 US basically.
Right. Okay. So I see. All right. So I see zombie level. So 13. We see zombie level MJ Hibblin cover A. Scott McDaniel cover B. We see zombie level MJ Hibblin cover A. I'm now hearing an echo of me.
Yes, sorry, there you go. Yes, that's the black one that you're on right now.
Oh, okay. I see. Werewolf level C. Okay. All right. So this, and you see, and you already have 4 backers, and I'm going to guess this is more back. See, boobs. That's the amazing power of boobs right there. The MJ Hiblin cover 0, cover B 2, booby cover. We already got 4 backers right there, and I see this is limited. Is this a limited edition cover?
Yeah, we're doing 100 of each of these ones.
Okay, and after that, they're all gone.
Yeah, the Kickstarter ones are gone.
That's pretty cool. All right, great. So yeah, that was my question too. So all right, so this cover here, this is a cover, right? The vampire with the teeth.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's done by Scott McDaniel, the vampire with the teeth here.
Okay.
Scott worked on Nightwing, Batman, Spider-Man.
I feel like your campaign Kickstarter page might convert better if people were able to go, oh, this pledge level corresponds to this cover. Because I'm sitting here looking Gilman level Scott McDaniel cover B, and I'm like, which one is that? You know what I'm saying?
There's a little line underneath each one, like each picture.
Little line. Oh, you're right. It's real faint though. But yes, so I'm just saying like that's gonna be. I think you're gonna lose some people because this text is very subtle. I don't know why Kickstarter made it so subtle. But yes, you're right. There it is. The MJ Hiblin cover A is that cover. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah,
awesome.
I love this cover. It has like all the monsters on it.
Yeah.
And, this is actually I sell this as a print at conventions, and it's our #1 print. Yeah, you'd think the big-chested lady would be a bigger seller, but no, this is the Tower of Monsters is my biggest seller.
Really? Oh, well, wait, because that's cover A, isn't it?
Yeah, cover A.
Well, here on the internet, it hasn't gotten any yet, as opposed to the booby cover, which has 4. Because on the internet, people are already looking for porn, I think.
You might be right.
You have an argument. You have an audience predisposed towards anything that is feminine and breast related. Like, it would be interesting if if really like live audiences just want a dramatically different cover than non-live audiences. But so this cover is your biggest selling cover live. That's interesting.
Yeah. So the Ali Garza cover with the werewolf in the back. Yeah, so Ali worked on Teen Titans, Deadpool, Supergirl, and he's
Right.
actually the artist on my Fire Engine Red comic book. So he does the interiors on that one too. It's actually a really cool story. I was able to, so that was my first script actually, was Fire Engine Red, and
Right.
I did my first Kickstarter for that one, and I was able to sell my script to a publisher. They're called Comic Stream. They're
Okay.
launching later this year, and it's all digital comics. And but they're immersive and interactive, and like
Right.
the you can move the characters, and there's a musical score to the panels. It's really it's a like a multi-million dollar startup here in Canada, and they bought my script from me, the publishing rights to it, and they hired Ali to illustrate it, and he's just absolutely killing it on those pages. I can't wait for that book to launch. We were able to fulfill our Kickstarter on that. It took a while. It took us about a year actually to fulfill the Kickstarter, because I after doing the Kickstarter, one artist bowed out of the project, and then another, and then another, and then Ali came on, and it was like I'd get 6 pages down the road, and then they'd have to leave for health reasons, or a different work opportunity came up,
Mhm.
and it was really disheartening. So once Comic Stream came into the picture, and Ali came on board, the book, the quality of the book is like really top notch. Like, yeah, I know it sounds kind of like me blowing my own horn, but
No,
Ali's art
that is what you are here to do.
Ali's art on that Fire Engine Red book is incredible. So if everyone can watch out for that on Comic Stream, it's with a K and an X, so KOMIX Stream. That launches, I think they're going to launch in October. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so Ali came in and did this beautiful cover for Cover of Darkness as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Is there a tier where you can get all 4 covers?
Yes, that's the Mummy level.
Okay,
So
Mummy
you
level.
scroll
Let's
down a little
take a look
bit.
at that. All right. Mummy level, because I don't know if you can see that comment, but somebody did say that that they did like the what they called the monster assembly. Cover A won the best. So get 200 Canadian. That sounds like a lot. Okay, I'm gonna go up.
That's about $150. That's for original artwork.
Yeah. Okay. Vampire
From Scott
level.
McDaniel, guy who worked on Batman. So.
Right. 6,500. I'm having a hard time finding these levels. Okay, so Mummy level, here it is. So 65 Canadian, which translates to what, like 45 US?
$50 US.
Oh, yeah, okay, so $50 US. But then how much is shipping going to be to the US?
Like 15.
Okay, so 65 US gets you all 4 covers delivered.
Yeah, and then we also have included in this one, I create like a bonus features magazine. And
Okay.
it has like behind the scenes kind of concept art, alternative covers that we didn't end up using, and some fan art and pinups from like some really cool people who've submitted some awesome monster art to me, and then interviews with us. So it'll be fun. Like if you want to kind of get like a behind the scenes look at like making a comic book,
Right.
I made one for my Fire Engine Red Kickstarter as well, a bonus features book. I look at it like like with you get like the single disc DVD, or you can get like the bonus features. I don't know, I might be dating myself because people don't buy DVDs anymore. But you used to be able to get like the 2 discs, and you'd have like the director's commentary and stuff like that. That's kind of the thinking behind the bonus features book.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, I guess that's most of it. This is, I think, a really interesting model that you've given anyone listening in terms of how to go about doing the crowdfunding thing. Now, the one thing that I want to point out for those listening as well as yourself is, I'm sure you notice when I'm working my table, I have an iPad there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's playing excellent music, so I can keep my energy up and all that good jazz. But more importantly, it has a MailChimp app where people can stop and type in their email address. And then when you do your crowdfunding, so you have all these emails you've collected from every show you've ever done.
Yes, that's a good tip.
Yeah. So
I mostly post my Instagram when I do that.
okay.
So I'll try and get subscribers to my Instagram account because I post a couple times a week, just cool monster art, and so it's just a way to be to engage with them. But not everybody has Instagram, so and everybody does have an email.
Yes. All right. Fair enough. Well, and personally, I don't like Instagram because, all right, you have like a whole bunch of backers, and in fact, I remember there was like research on this, like which use of social media is the most efficient in terms of I have a campaign, I want to send out a message, and I want people to respond, and they looked at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The number one way to get people to respond is to send them an email saying, hey, this is going on, you should do something about it. And it was like an order of magnitude more effective. Like people were 10 times more likely to respond to email than they were to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. So, so there's, that's my tip to you and anybody else who happen to be listening is collect email addresses because, like Instagram, especially, you can't even share a link unless you're doing it to like, I hate Instagram. It's like, I wish it would just die. But, like, if you wanted to share a web link, like first off, you have to have a certain number of followers before it'll even let you do it. Like you have to have like 1,000 followers or something before you can even share a web link. Unless it happens to be in your bio.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Is I post things and I say the links in my bio.
Yeah, link in the bio, right?
I do like. I find Instagram to have the least amount of drama on it, though, and I know
sure.
Exposed to a fair bit of.
Oh, but I'm a drama hound. Like, look, as soon as we're off here, I'm going to go back because people are on Twitter telling me I don't know how to write, and I'm like, I always have the same attitude, which is no, you people are just stupid. But I mean, the thing is about White Lily, like that they just don't understand is I workshopped that script so much. I had a staff writer for Lost. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It was a little TV show, had a bunch of seasons. Look through that script. Like it has had so many eyes on it. When some like comic book nerd is like, yeah, you got Lily. I'm like, retard, you have no idea who you're talking to. You have no idea how many people have already looked at the script, given me feedback, how many people I presented it to and told me they liked it. You can just take this and shove it. And I just get on the keyboard, send. Feels good when I'm done. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't really engage in any of that sort of interactions with people.
Right. I want to say something here. And this could just be like personality thing. I think if you did, and if you were that kind of person, like when you're just like, and now it's time to crowdfund, you might get more response because people feed into the drama. They do. Like they pick heroes and villains, and I don't know. I'm not saying that I do it because I pick heroes and villains. I do it because I just enjoy getting on social media and beating people down. Like I was doing this back in the days of the dial-up modem, like back when you had to go onto Usenet and go over to Are we like different generations? Do you remember Usenet at all?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. So you see how old I am? This back in my day, the modem made noises when you plugged it in, and you had to dial the phone number, and then you had to wait a few minutes before you could yell at people on cyberspace. So, but yeah,
I just look at it like all I can do is put my stuff out into the world, and if people like it, cool, and if they don't, that's fine too. Like so, I like you mentioned, I'm a little aggressive on the convention floor.
right.
Yeah, I do that kind of carnival barker kind of style where I talk to each person and as they're walking by, I'm like, hey man, do you like monsters? And kind of call them over to my table and start presenting it to them. But I'm never like, upset or disappointed when they don't buy. It's like,
I understand.
All I can do is like put it out there.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that, all right. The ultimate, my advice to you, like if I were your career manager and I'm like, okay, you don't want to get on social media and be a drama hound. That's fine. What you should do though, is you should sign up for MailChimp. Those accounts are free. right? Until you get like 2,000 email signups, which is going to take you a while. Those accounts are free. And, you get this app, you can put it right there on your iPad. And when you're at a show, you got the iPad there, you're making a sale, and you're like, hey, I don't come here that often. Like I just did Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I hadn't been in Tennessee in a long time. And I get to tell people, Kickstarter is my main method of distribution. You get these comics, you love these comics, you want more of these comics. This is how you do it. You leave me your email, and then when the campaign hits, I'm going to send it to you, and you can go back it. And it works. And that's a low drama way that you don't have to get on the Twitter and the YouTubes and tell people how dumb they are. You can just collect email addresses live at shows and send them out, and probably be much happier than I am. So that's what I say.
You should get back on Instagram, man. Like, I don't know why there's that much drama on there.
I know, that's why I don't like it. I'm like, I can't share my, like, look, what the things I want to do, I can't do on Instagram. Like, I want to grab a link from a newspaper or a video, or I want to share it to Instagram, and it's designed so you can't do that. You can only have the one link in the bio and just share your little pictures and sit there and type out hashtags forever and a day. I'm like, this sucks. So I don't know. That was my.
There's a lot of hashtag typing.
Oh my God, I hate it. Like, you want to it'll take me like 30 seconds to type out the post, and then 2 minutes to sit there and go hashtag, hashtag, it's a bunch of shit anyway. So.
What's next for you?
Let's see. I will be doing Wizard World Columbus first weekend in March.
Oh, I was in Columbus in October.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they reshuffled it or something like that for Wizard World in Columbus. There's good people there.
Well, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Wizard World Cleveland. I mean, to me, they're both in Ohio.
Right.
So I'm one Ohio. My brain is like, it's some city in Ohio, whatever. I'm gonna arrive at an airport, and they could just change all the signs as a practical joke on me and go, "Ha ha! You thought you were in Cleveland, but you're really Columbus," and I wouldn't know the difference. I'd be like, "What? I am here." So, it's life is life. But yes, so I'm sorry. First weekend in March, I'll be doing Wizard World Cleveland, but. I should probably sign up for Wizard World Columbus, but I wanted to wait and see how Wizard World Cleveland did, because I remember you and I talk about which shows to do, and I got to say, Wizard World Portland was off the chain, man. That thing was crazy. It was awesome. Like, they have a real comic culture there, and I was making sales. Even people who absolutely hate me were stopping by my table just to yell obscenities. But that's how crazy Wizard World Portland was. And so I think you should probably get in on that.
Yeah, actually, I was at Portland. Were you up? I didn't see you there.
Oh, I was there.
I was at my table slinging books. Yeah, it was a good con for me.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm sorry I missed you. Yeah, for me, I've got Emerald City in Seattle and Days of the Dead in Las Vegas. So I've got 2 in March.
Yeah.
Should be fun. I really like doing the horror conventions too, because I don't even have to ask people if they like monsters. They just, hey, you.
Exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, we've done an hour. There's a link in the description for his campaign at $65 estimated, because there's Canadian to US dollars, but basically for $65 US, you get all 4 of these gorgeous covers. 1, 2, 3. Is there 4? Is this a cover here? Is that a cover? All right, hell, maybe there's. How many covers do they get?
There's 4 covers and our bonus features book. Yeah.
Okay, because I only see 3 covers here.
Kind of every.
Oh wait! All right, there it is. 4. Okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all right. So since you've already done all these books, one, there's not going to be any completion risk. When are you planning on doing your next campaign?
We'll see how this one goes, man.
I mean, what I've found is that if you launch your next campaign as you just finished fulfilling your last one, it helps, because then people are getting the product and they're reminded, like, oh yeah, it's like a reminder to go, I wonder what's happening with so-and-so. And then they're like, oh, so-and-so just launched another one. And then they look, they've got the product in your hands. So they know, like, oh, this is probably pretty good. So, it is what it is.
Thank you. Yeah, you've done this a lot, Preston.
I've done this a lot. Yes.
I'm still pretty new at it. This is just my second one, and but my last one took a year to to fulfill. This one, the book's already completed. I'll be, bagging and boarding and heading out to the post office, a couple weeks after this thing is finished, when I pick up the books from the printer.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, this evening we will be having Writers Group. Do you want to stop by Writers Group?
That sounds like fun.
Okay. Well, that was a very diplomatic way to say neither yes nor no.
But, so I don't know what I have to do. What do I do?
Oh, I will be presenting scripts and somebody else will be presenting scripts. And then you just sit back and you listen to the things that we say. And then you get to go, like, for instance, the current thing on Twitter where people are like, Lou, you shouldn't talk like that. I'm like, you have no idea how many times I've presented pages and then people gave their opinion on what they heard. So in this case, you would sit there and you'd go, I don't like the way you chose to write Lilia or whatever. And so you would give me feedback on what my script was and say which way I should go with it.
Okay. And so I type in, I log into YouTube and
Well,
watch this
just like you did now, except it's later tonight.
That sounds good. That sounds
okay. Cool. All right. Well, then we will have a new guest this evening for Writer Circle, everybody. So George Michail will be joining us. He will join the Writers Coven. Cool. All right. Neat. Fantastic. Well, thanks, everybody. And I guess you'll see, hopefully, both of us later on this evening.
Thanks so much, Preston. Yeah, you'll see me later.
All right. Cool. Take care. And I'm going to end.